Good morning. Welcome to Morning Call. I'm Lata Venkatesh. With me are Sonia Shenoy and Anuj Singhal. Well, I think one big message we got from the markets both on Friday and on Monday appears to be that the Indian markets have outperformed every other market with respect to its post-Fed reaction. It was a big rally, or over a 1% rally on Friday, which was largely maintained yesterday. Even if we didn't build on it, it was a gap down, and the gaps got bought. All the dips got bought. So net, as we stand on Tuesday morning, we are quite clearly one of the best performing markets as far as major markets are concerned, and that will not be lost on the market as it tries to mount its challenge first on 8,000, and then I would assume the 8,050 mark, which Anuj has been pointing out as a resistance. The only point is that whether the market can hold its nerve. Tomorrow morning we are getting the Chinese PMI numbers. Now, if you remember, a month ago, it was these numbers that unleashed a lot of volatility in the markets. The number had come in at 47.9, and it was the lowest level. The Caxin number was the lowest since March 2009, and the official PMI was the lowest since 2012. And it was this PMI numbers which had started all the, or at least reiterated the question marks over the extent of Chinese slowdown. So again, those numbers are due tomorrow. Those would be the September numbers. And therefore, we must be aware. A Reuters poll says that it will be marginally lower at 47.3. Not very bad compared to the August numbers. But nevertheless, there is always a chance the market looks at it very negatively. At the moment, of course, it looks like the global markets have taken in the Chinese data, and it hopefully will not see fresh reverses. And therefore our upturn will be secure. But we will have to wait and see. That will be a big number, I think.
Oh yes, we will be data dependent on at least on the Chinese data for the next many days. But today looks good, especially from the global sphere. So the US market staged a good comeback, almost a triple-digit. It was a triple-digit move on the Dow. The European markets had a good run as well. So looks like at least the start would be on the positive side. Most Asian markets this morning are indicating a green tick. But Lata, for our own markets, it's been sort of in a tight range. 8,000 on the upside has been a hurdle. 7,900 on the downside has been protected. So it could be perhaps another range-bound trade up until expiry.
My sense is that today the markets will be more positive than range-bound. I think they'll take the 8,000 mark with more courage. For exactly the reasons I said, that it's an outperformance compared to other markets. The FI number, of course, we should take with a pinch of salt, because it includes the numbers of Bain buying the L&T shares. It's come in about 150 crore positive, but obviously if Bain's numbers are not included, it would be negative. In any case, I'm still of the opinion that we should not net it out. After all, it is a foreign investor buying Indian shares for whatever reason, off market and on market. So we should take it as positive. So again, that reiterates my point that at lower levels, the dips have been bought both by the trader and by the foreigner, and therefore I think the markets will mount a positive attack on 8,000 and maybe win that attack. Okay. But Anuj, where are your bets?
Well, Lata, two or three things. One is that the market is set for a bit of a range trade as far as the Nifty is concerned. There are two kinds of market right now. One is the Nifty, which you saw yesterday ending flat, and one was what was happening with individual stocks, where you saw a lot of big moves in both directions. How do you approach the market now? I mean, my sense is that there's a base at around 7950. The base has moved up for the market from 7800 to 7900, maybe even 7950, and there's a range of 7900 to 8050. 8050 was the Friday high. That becomes a stop loss for any kind of short trades, and you do get a sense that at around 8000 to 8050 you would see a bit of index management as well. A perfect analogy would be if you see Animal Planet, you see the lions do their work, and after that there's a pack of hyenas which does the scavenging, and at that time even the lions move out. They say, okay, let them take the last bit. So essentially this is a market in which the hyenas want to eat the premium, the option premium. So at 8,000 call, at 8050 call, maybe even 7900 port, 7950 port. So what you do is you sell some of these options, and you hope that the market will not make a big move over the next 2 or 3 days, and you'll end up eating decent premium. And, if you see the FI volume, the gross volume is always more important. Even if you were to include or not include Bain deal, yesterday FI and DI volumes were really paltry, I mean abysmal for expiry week.
Okay.
And again, yesterday there was one more thing that stood out. Two stocks, Reliance and ITC, negated all the good work of banks. Yes, the market did manage to recover lost ground, but it still ended flat or ended in the red. And that was because Reliance and ITC combined for 15 points on the way down for the Nifty. And that's why these two stocks, along with HDFC, L&T, and maybe a couple of more stocks, they'll continue to be your most important stocks to watch in terms of any kind of index management that you'll see in today's trade. What I'm looking at is index options data, and in that I think this data is really fascinating. Though I mean in expiry weeks it's tough to segregate this data, but you try to do your best. So FS net sold 1800 crores in index futures and open interest went up. Now my sense is that this is not for the current series, because current series is almost done. You won't sell index futures for current series with 2 days left. This looks like something being done for the October series. Net sell position in index futures. What should hearten the bulls though is that there's been equal amount of call buying. You know, if you see the options data, there was about 1900 crores of buying, and most of that was in index calls where you saw 44,000 build up.
What strikes?
At around all the strikes, 8,000, 8,100, 8,200. You know, how I am reading this data is that you have a potentially positive trigger for the market in the very first week of the new series, which is the RBI policy. Now all bets are that RBI will cut rates. And my sense is that, you know, how things will shape out is that you'll have a big move once the rate cut comes. But that could well be the peaking indicator for the market, like it happened last time. And after that, the market may have, just because, you know, it will look like the worst is over, the market has weathered the storm, and now the positive cues are coming. You know, there's a rate cut. Just when, you know, you 2 or 3 days
begin
back,
to feel good.
Yes, 2 or 3 days back, the consensus was bearish. You know, the whole town, the whole village was bearish. That will turn in October at some point. You know, when the market will make a base, the market will move up, there will be possibly a rate cut, and then maybe the market falls. Something like that could happen. I mean, this is all conjecture right now. You know, just looking at the data, that's the limited point I'm making. But the data is indicating that the best way to play this market is for today and the next 2 or 3 days, play a lot of individual stocks. Today you'll see a lot of stocks, a lot of F&O stocks rallying 8, 10, 15%. And the opportunity will come intraday. At 10 a.m. you'll see the stocks which are moving up and are adding open interest. That will be the time to buy some of these stocks. So for stock-specific trade, the next 2 or 3 days is going to be brilliant. You have to pick out stocks. But for the Nifty, the trade is to really play it on the sell side, on the option side. That is, sell calls, sell puts, have a stop loss around, you know, maybe 50 or 60 points. If the Nifty breaks out, then of course that trade is negated. But otherwise, chances are that you'll make a lot of money if you do this trade.
Yesterday, there was a lot of long positions taken on PSU banks, for sure.
Yes.
Now, the good news actually from the newspapers continues. Business Standard says that 3 more power discoms of 3 states are going to bite the NDA government's bullet and take the power discom story forward, the power reform forward. You think there's more fuel for that space? Because, you know, the PSU bank index, the bank Nifty may have risen 0.7. The PSU bank index rose 1.7%. It was quite clearly the outperformer yesterday. It has more legs to run, according to me. What's your sense?
No, I think it has more legs to run, clearly, you know, and maybe, you know, led by stocks like Bank of Baroda in the index. We have seen some delivery-based buying in PSU.
But it was IDBI.
And, you know, one thing that stands out is that, especially in the large cap PSU banks, you normally see a bit of a bottom formation at a particular price to book value. You know, when they reach sub, you know, 0.6 or sub 0.7, you do see a lot of value buying, and that's going on right now. And my sense is that that's going to continue, and especially as you build towards the RBI monetary policy, that would be the space that traders would want to play.
In fact, there was quite a bit of delivery-based buying in IDBI Bank. Almost 30 lakh shares were marked for delivery. It may not look much on an absolute basis, but compared to its 10-day average of just about 6 lakh shares, there was quite a bit of delivery-based buying. But not just PSU banks, you saw a lot of stock-specific action in names like Dish TV, Maruti, SKS Microfinance. So it clearly has been a stock picker's market. But here's what you'll get to see on the show in the next 2.5 hours. Our market master for today is Gautam Trivedi, the MD and CEO of Religare Capital Markets. He'll track all the action from the Lal